Okay, now I want to talk about sleep, because I've read that folks who are not getting enough sleep at night tend to weigh more than those who get adequate amounts of sleep.
Absolutely. You know, if you don't get adequate sleep, the problem that occurs is you start malabsorbing sugar, you develop insulin resistance, and with insulin resistance, you have greater insulin levels, then you have more appetite, you eat more, all because you're not getting enough sleep. You know, if you look back in time, at the time Edison invented the light bulb, the average American was getting 10 hours of sleep a night. By the 1950s, thanks to the light bulb, we won't blame Edison entirely, we were getting an average of 8 hours of sleep a night. Today, the average American gets 6.9 hours of sleep a day. And I think this plays into a large degree in the epidemic of obesity. We tend to eat more if we're getting less sleep. And then we get obese and we start having another problem with sleep. Once you get overweight, you start getting more problems with a condition called sleep apnea, which only makes the problems worse, because sleep apnea interrupts sleep even more. You gain more weight, you get more diabetes, more high blood pressure, more problems with your heart. In fact, with sleep apnea, as some of you probably following the news have noticed, that many of our, not many, but some of our football players that are really heavy and big have had sleep apnea, and as a result they've had sudden death. And that can be catastrophic to the family, to say nothing of the individual who dies, all from inadequate sleep from obesity.
Wow. There are many of us who are really busy during the day, and when we go home and we lay down on our pillow, the day flashes before us, and that goes on for hours and hours, and we have insomnia. How does that relate to
Well, insomnia or any cause of decreased sleep will cause us to gain weight. Before I deal with insomnia, let's just look for a minute at sleep apnea.
Okay.
Some people say, well, I wonder what that is. Apnea means stopping breathing. Another way to describe sleep apnea would be breathless sleep. Breathless sleep. And if you wonder whether or not a family member has sleep apnea or whether you do, all you need to do is have someone listen to you while you sleep. First of all, sleep apnea people usually snore, and they snore at the same noise level, about 90 decibels, as a lawnmower or a chainsaw. When you are snoring with sleep apnea, you are really snoring. But then as you're snoring along, suddenly there comes this pause where there's no sound except some gurgling. And what's happened is you've obstructed your airway and you're dying, and your brain wakes you up a little so you can catch your breath and then go on breathing. If anyone in your family does this, heavy snoring, and then they stop breathing, snort, and then start breathing again. If you have anyone in your family that does that, or if someone has told you you do that, by all means, see your doctor. It can be life-threatening. There are good sleep labs in many hospitals. Both Parkview Hospital has a sleep lab, Mid-Coast Hospital has a sleep lab, Portland does. Many of our hospitals today have sleep labs, and they can diagnose sleep apnea very easily and other conditions that go along with it. It's so very important that we not allow obesity to shorten our lives abruptly, and it can with sleep apnea.
Sounds dangerous.
It is very dangerous, and if you have a concern about someone in your family that has that, don't just buy earplugs. Trot that person off, and it's much more common in men, although women have it too. Trot that person off to the doctor and say, please test my husband. Unless, of course, you want to be rid of him, then keep him at home and wear earplugs.
No, thank you. So insomnia.
insomnia can be a real problem. More women have insomnia than men, but it affects both. And it will lead to obesity as well. No question about it. And so you go to your doctor and you say, I can't sleep, and the doctor gets out his or her prescription pad and writes you out a prescription. I've done this. Writes you out a prescription for a sleep aid. And it feels so good for the first week, and then the second week maybe not as good. You know, many of our sleep medications, if you look at how much sleep you're actually getting, by the end of 2 weeks, you're getting no more sleep than you did before you started the sleep aid. So while they can be a help, it's mostly for short term, and we're far better off to deal with some of the issues in the bedroom. You know, if you want to go to sleep, have a ritual, just like you do for your daughter. She wants a story, she wants a cuddle, she wants some warm, quiet time. Start turning down the lights. Don't bring your work home. Don't engage in any stimulating activities just before bed. And when you go into that bedroom, the only thing you should do there is sleep and sex. Nothing else. No TV in the bedroom. No computer in the bedroom. No reading in the bed. If you're having trouble with sleeping, sleep hygiene is so very important. It can make a wonderful difference in how well you sleep. Just putting away those activities of the day and slowing down. Getting exercise early in the day, not late, will help as well, and it will help you lose weight.
Thank you for joining us on Healthy Living.